Hello everyone, how are you doing guys? You're welcome to continue our short series about the elements of the human face. And today we're gonna see how to sculpt the mouth. So, like the video, please comment and share with your friend and let's go. Basically, make a mouth for me. Eyes and mouth for a long time it was very difficult because when I was starting to understand the shapes, to break it in, to divide it in parts, was very complicated. But practicing every day and sculpting, make exercise, studying, I could understand the shapes, and today for me it's very easy. I can translate to the concept, image, well, basically anything to 3D. It's very easy for me, but how I say to you, it's necessary to practice. The same thing with other language. For example, now I'm learning English and I am talking every day, studying, practicing, because I need to improve my English. So the same thing is with the 3D. You need practice every day, okay? So let's go, let's continue. And remember guys, we're gonna see a lot of other subjects, other tutorials like texturing, rendering, retopology, UV mapping, for games, for animation, rigging, a lot of cool stuffs, okay? So let's go to finish this series of the sculpture, the series sculpting the elements of the face. So let's go. Let me set the ZBrush first. Let me press tab, go to preference, initialize the brush. Remember that because I like to work with a large canvas here and I don't like to work with small canvas, small. Let me make different. I can set here, for example, to 8D settings, or just set here, for example, 1912 can be. I think English it's 1912. The width and height. It's kind of the 8D resolution. And that's okay. So let me return here to document and resize. Click on resize and press yes. That's okay. And let's press M to clean the canvas. Let me go here to document, set range, set 0 to range, and change the preference. Remember that. Quick save. Set it to the maximum because I don't want interruptions. Delete, quick save, yes. And let me bring here the reference. So that's okay. One thing here guys is when we are doing sketches and make this warming up, we will not, for example, I will not sculpt a likeness, for example. How you can see here the real human mouth, it's very smooth and clean. So how you can see it's very clean, it's beautiful, it's awesome, it's amazing. And we have all these little details, the shine, the glossiness, the roughness here, all these things, cool. But when we're gonna sculpt and practice into this brush, we're gonna focus on the volumes. So basically we have 3 volumes, this bump, and here, 1, 2, 3, and 2 other here, 4, 5. So these 5 volumes are the key point to make cool mouth. But remember, it's to make a sketch, and we will not make this mouth. To make this mouth, usually when we are doing this mouth, so it's different. Remember, here it's a real, and we're gonna do that when we have a base mesh or a complete head. That's okay. But for practice to sketch, it's better make on this way. So something like let me show you where are my other reference. Let me see here. So let me get it here. I have on Pinterest folder with reference. I like to save reference because it's very helpful when we're gonna make some project. So we're gonna make something like that. So how you can see, very, it's appearing a lot the volumes, this guy, and here the bump, and this part more flat. So this is my recommendation, my suggestions for you when you wanna study months. Okay, so just it, because when you're gonna make a realistic month, basically we're gonna realistic month, not stylized, realistic. Basically we're gonna use, for example, XYZ maps and alphas to make the details, so it's very better than make handle it, but that's okay. So is it? Let's go. Let's start. Hey guys, just to remind you that we have new premium course every month uploaded on Udemy and Skillshare, where you can access a lot of different content for you learn, improve and grow as an artist. We have all of our courses available to watch and learn from right now, new workflows, techniques, tips and tricks, and now learning from industry veterans and experts. You can check the description down here, and Skillshare is offering 1 free-month trial to the premium membership. With this membership, you are going to be able to access all of our courses and watch and learn all of these amazing things that we cover with all of the softwares. So what are you waiting for? Check our course down here below. So to start, I like to start with cylinder. Why? Because let me select a Medicap here. Can be basic Medicap first, then I'm gonna switch to skin. So why? Because the month we have this curve here and is not flat. We need to take care about that. So if you're gonna sculpt from a cube, you need to remember to make this volume, because if you look the month from this angle here, from bottom to top, for example, we're gonna have a curve, okay? So it's better to represent it. It's not flat, it's curved. I don't have this volume. So because that we're gonna start from a cylinder. But here, how you can see from a cube, for example, we have this curve, this volume. It's extremely important. Okay, but well, to follow the other videos, let's start from a cube. That's okay, can be. Let's make this little challenge. I'm gonna make Polymesh 3D and enjoy the process, guys. Enjoy the process. It's extremely important. Sometimes you are sculpting something like boring and oh, I am doing it. No, relax. Enjoy the process. It's the life. The life is good. So let's go. Let me see here. Can apply Dynamesh, and what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start adding volume. Remember, we have the curve. It's not flat. So the first thing that I need to do is add the volume. Basically, it's we're gonna create a cylinder shape, but well, let me scale it a little bit because I want a more space to work. So is it? I am creating the volume of the month. So is it? Okay, update the mesh and I can smooth. So basically, this is the initial point. So how you can see you have the curve, okay? And basically what I'm gonna do now, it's create the M. The letter M. We have this by this letter here, M. M. Of course, it depends the position, but usually you have the letter M. Okay, so I'm gonna use DOM standard to create it. And well, I forget to use the symmetry. So I'm gonna click on mirror and weld to have the exactly symmetry here, update the mesh, and add a little more of volume on this part here. Update the mesh and smooth. So that's okay to start. I'm gonna select DOM standard and I'm gonna create a letter M. How you can see here I have the letter M, and that's okay, the initial point. One thing that it's extremely important, look to me here, it's this part here where the muscles will connect. So we have the horizontal muscles, we have the zygomatic elevator, all these muscles. But when we have this connection here for the orbicular here, and we have the muscles connecting here, this part here, this volume that usually we have on the corner of the mouth, let me see here, can be this part here. It's because all the muscles will connect here and create this node. It's kind of node. But the cool part is that this part we can make an analogy with a donut. Okay, a donut here. So basically I like to imagine that we have the donuts here. So in that I add volume first. What I'm gonna do first, it's make a cavity here using the DOM standard. I like to use DOM standard together with the alpha, can be 0, 1, and select the drag right. So now here I can use the C sub and try to make this cavity here. In that I try to bring the volume first. So that's okay. I can also move a little bit back. This part can be, and here too. That's okay. Update the mesh, that's cool. And now we can continue making the things. Let me select here the standard brush and let me return to the random settings. That's okay. And now what I'm gonna do is create this little part here where I have this connection with the nose, this part here. Holding Alt, gonna use the Z add and hold Alt. Just a little bit here. That's okay. Well, I'm gonna press Ctrl Z because I wanna make this part here, the edge. I'm gonna bring these landmarks. So how you can see, I have used the DOM standard here. So here, it's not the end of the superior lips. This is not the end part. We're gonna make it more or less here. So this point until here need to be, we need to have a good space. So usually what the people do, select DOM standard, hold Alt and make this landmark. But what we're gonna do, it's make different. This is not the end. So we're gonna make this landmark here, for example. We can make this landmark here. Look that. Yeah. And now this part here, we need remove it, and we can use the clay buildup and hold Alt. Okay, hold Alt, just to create a better transition. And here I can bring this volume like a heart, like a earth. So something like that. And here I can remove a little bit because it's more flat on this part. So how you can see it's different because we have a big ellipse. The same thing with the inferior part. We will not start making here. It's more in depth here. It's more down. This part, look the difference. So more or less here can be. And from this point, we need to start refining the thing. So I can cut a little bit more here. This region, use the clay buildup. And here we have two volumes, and this part it's more, we have more cavity. So this part it's more easy following this workflow. And look that, very clean and fast. Look that, look that. This corner, the end, basically have this, it's kind of triangle, and here other triangle. So remember that this volume here not ends here and ends early. Okay, so it's very cool. And remember, we're just marking the things. So I can move back a little bit. This part, that's okay. And now I can make a mask. Let me select here. Hold Control, Mask Lasso. And I'm gonna create a mask to separate it. So let me see here. Let me remove this mask, this part. Press Ctrl W, that's okay. It's working well. If I want, I can bring in front. If I want to, I can simulate the nose here. So basically this part it's more in front. Usually this part here it's something like that. It's just simulate and have a better reference. We can just make this insinuation here. Okay, and remember it's curved, so what we need to do, it's not flat, we need to bring this part more in front. Yes, so very easy. And then this other part, the same thing. Let me bring out this volume here. So that's cool, and this part too. We have the chin here. So when we are sculpting from a cube, for a cylinder, from a sphere, it's always more difficult because that to see the volumes, the proportions, it's a little more difficult because we don't have idea about the word space around of that. But how you can see, it's very easy to reproduce when we can work with planes and shapes. So let me cut here this part. Basically you have this volume here of the muscles, remember that, something like that. These parts here, these muscles, so basically the mentalis and these other muscles, where we're gonna have this volume here. Okay, so that's good. Let me work with reference always, so here is very visible. So how you can see, we have this part, these volumes. Let me check from this angle, that's okay. So let me make the same thing here. Here is more flat, this part. Basically, we have something like that. It's more flat, this part. But here, we need to make the donuts shape. So let me create here more or less the connection. So remember that. Let me cut here. And make this landmark here. So create this volume, then we're gonna cut this part, so don't worry about that. And let me try to mark a little bit more the lips here. This part. So let me see. I think I need more resolution here. Resolution, not more contrast here. Yes, it's better. And this transition. Let me check. Let me see. Let me just make a quick sketch of the nose here. Just to mark and understand a little bit the shapes. Basically here we have the expression line. And here we can play a lot. So here we can work on the design. So that's cool, update the mesh. Let me increase this resolution, can be 200 maybe, yeah. Let me make this part here too. This region. So how you can see, I'm trying to mark it because I want to understand the shapes. So it's extremely important you do that. It's not only add the volumes and the structure. It's necessary to understand where we have the connection, what is happening. So it's important, and I wanna make this lips border because then we're gonna cut out it, for example. Of course we can cut it here more or less, or here, just an example. So it's important we understand. And here I can move down if I want to close the mouth. I can add a little smile, and how you can see just this little sketch, we can see the expression. So it's extremely important. Let me define a little bit better this line of the mouth. Hit this little cut. Let me see. Let me use the high polish here on this part, this transition, and smooth to refine the things. Let me return here to this reference. How you can see we have this transition. Let me see here. And here we have a little more of volumes. So we can play a little bit with that. So let me see, let me bring this little volume here. And that's okay, that's cool for me. So let me smooth a little bit. What I can do is make a mask and try to move this part inner. So let me see if it's possible. Let me just try to move it. Yes, it's better. Let me see here. Let me change the light. Let me check it. Let me see. Let me make different. Let me paint it. So this is the process, guys. This is the process. Oops. Hold Control Mask Pen. And I'm gonna paint this line to move into the month. And it's better to work. So make a mask. Let me remove a little bit. I want it very thin. Invert, smooth first, invert. Now it's working better. And scale it. Yeah. Can be, let me update the mesh. That's okay, that's good for me. Because now, for example, let me open it a little bit. Because it's better to work. So now, for example, we can try to make the red topology. So let me organize the polygroup here. Well, let me see. That's good. Let me go to display properties. Wow. Display properties, double. Yes. And make a mask. Or not, I can switch to this drag rect. And I'm gonna select the lasso and hidden this part here too, because it makes part of the superior lip. So that's okay. Let me check. Yeah. And press Ctrl W. That's okay. Now I can move back a little bit this part, because then we're gonna redo that. It's better to work with the red topology. So here it's the same thing. Let me smooth this inner part. So let me see it. Move back. Same thing here. Update the mesh, Dynamesh. That's okay. Let me try to smooth the inner part, because it will be better to zero mesh works. And to fix it, so let me sculpt here, remove a little bit this part. So how you can see, guys, I like to work very organized. So I am doing it to apply the zero measure, because I know that we're gonna have problems if I not do that. So it's okay for me. Let me see. Here we have the landmarks, for example, this part. Here and here. But that's okay. Can play a little bit with that if I want. Here is more flat. It's better to sculpt, and then we could make the other things if we want. Just one example. So how you can see, this is the way. And here we can make different too if you want. A little bit more this way. But that's okay. It's enough. Let me see just this part here from side angle. The transition, it's different a little bit, but we're gonna make we're gonna make the retopology now, automatically retopology. So here we can change a lot, very easy. And here I can bring a little of volume. So that's okay. No, I have lost the contrast, so I'm gonna keep this visual here. So let me see here. Yeah, that's okay, that's enough. Let me change the lights, of course. Yeah, and remember, it's just a representation, but how you can still have this feeling. So it's very cool. Basically, this sketch and sketch like that, it's enough. For example, let me see here, something like that. It's enough. But let's continue. Let me use the zero measure, remember that. So let me save it, of course. So face element, month, 04 month. That's cool. And now what we can do is use, let me duplicate that and apply the zero measure, remember? Same of workflow. Let me go to geometry, zero measure, and let me see if the zero measure works alone. Just let me remove this part here. Update the mesh and remove this part here. And here I can use the clay polish to polish a little bit all this part here to be more clean. So all it I wanna more clean, flat, this part without noise, without distortion. So that's okay. Let me make the same thing here. So let me see, yeah, that's okay. Let's make the same thing here. Can add with the clay, and then I can remove here. So let me see here to make sense, because this part seems that it's more on this, it's more large. So this is the secret. Usually a lot of people don't do that. In this part here, it's very polished. So how you can see, I am trying to polish it a lot. So let me see. Let me try to bring volume here a little bit, and that's okay. How you can see from this side, we have this clean visual. Come on, my tablet, plug and plug. Why? So look that, very clean, this region here. But this part here, it's a little strange, where we can bring this volume here, can be maybe, well, so let me see here. This transition, it's a little strange. I don't want this distortion here. So let me see. Yeah, can be. So let me see this transition here, this little volume. And here I can move in front a little bit. Yeah, just this little bump. So look that, it's very clean, this part, so take care about that, need to be very clean. And here I can bring a little bit just to have a volume, but it's not necessary, it's depend of each month, it's more to get a better representation here. It's more for it, and here I can feel a little bit, add volume here. Very, very clean. So let me check the reference and bring a little off volume. So let me see. That's okay, that's cool. So is it, guys? From this point we are almost finishing. Let me save here on it, and let me delete the old. How you can see little things make difference, so take care about this part, need to be very clean. Look the previous version. So it's important we make these polish things. So that's okay, let me duplicate that. And here I can use the ZBrush. ZBrush, let me check using one and test. The ZBrush. Let's go, let's go, let's go. This transition here, it's a little smooth, but that's okay. Basically, these studies, it's very fast, so we can cut then here like that too, and close the month. Then why I'm doing this, I am using ZBrush and now because I have opened the month, it's better to have a better interpretation, and the algorithmic will work better, the algorithm. So yeah, it's not bad, but I think that we can use the guidelines, the ZBrush guidelines. So let me see here. What I'm gonna do is bring this filling from this point here. So that's okay. Other here. Let me see here, more or less on this way. Let me check. That's okay, I think that's okay. And here other. And here other. Let me see if it will works or not. Adaptive, double, let me set 1.5 and use the zero measure. So if you want, you can make a retopology, use Maya or Blender on it, and send here to ZBrush again and use the project all and finish the model. Or you can finish just using Dynamesh too. I like to make this retopology and project all on the high poly because I have a more clean topology and it's better to work and to present it in the final process. So in my opinion, it's a good workflow. So how you can see, we have this beautiful topology. Just this triangle here, that is not necessary. I'm gonna use Alt-R, my hotkey, to the modeler and select the stitch to point actions, and let me select this guy here, and I'm gonna switch to middle point. Basically, I'm gonna select these guys, connect them to the middle. So let him click here, and that's okay. Activity symmetry, that's okay. It's not perfectly, but it's a good point to start. Projecting the things, let me select the move brush just to go out from the modeler. And I can press Ctrl D and use the project and project. Well, let me active of this guy, of course, and let me use the project all. Ctrl D, project all, and Ctrl D and project all to finish. Let me see here. How is that we are working with project mesh details? Probably your ZBrush can crash, so take care. And that's okay for me. From this point, we can continue. Let me see here, the polygons, yeah. So I can delete this one, the high poly. And here, I can make a mask. Let me switch the light, Ctrl W, and let me see here. Let me remove this part here too, this other part, Ctrl W. Let me see this part here and organize it. Ctrl W. And here Ctrl W. This corner here. Let me see. Let me check. This little polygon here. Yeah. So this part, that's okay. I press Ctrl W here and that's okay. So now we can close it, close the mouth, for example. Let me make a mask, invert, use move topological, and I can move up a little bit this part here, not in the middle, it's this part, to close the mouth. Let me check other reference. We could make a lot of transition. How you can see, we have this little part here, and usually this part that we're gonna move up, and we can move down a little bit, not too much, and play a little bit with that. Let me see, it's transition, and play a little bit with that. So for me, it's better to work on this way because now I can separate it. For example, I can use the inflate brush here and see all the elements. So let me organize it. And here I need this landmark a little more strong. Can use the standard brush to create this landmark. So it basically create these final details. So how you can see, I can use the light here, smooth a little bit. And in this part we can see that this transition its skin and here ends the mouth in this pose. So we can use the high polish here. And same thing here. We have this plane. So let me check. Can use the high polish here too. If I want, I can use the move topological and make a little more marked the lips, how you can see. Yes, I think that's okay. This way here, that's enough. And here I want more inflated, so let me use the inflate here. Yes, more marked. Cool. And here I can bring a little more of details. So let me bring this visual here. This transition. So we can play a lot. Let me make a mask, invert, and let me see the reference. Yeah, here I can add volume. Let me see it. Let me isolate this part. And maybe here remove a little bit to make this physical transition. So let me cut a little bit this part. So how you can see, it's very cool to make this part because the structure it's right, so it's easy to make change. The difficult part it's when we have a bad structure. So let me see here. Use some standard brush to create the volume and make this transition here. A little more strong landmarks. And we have this cool effect. Usually this process, I like to work with alphas, but here how I am doing something more to practice, I can do that I can do that by handily, but usually this part I like to make using alphas. So because I have the correctly way when I am using alphas. So let me cut here. And this part, the inferior lip, I don't have a lot of details like the superior part. So that's okay. Now I can press Ctrl D and mark a little bit more. Let me see. Let me mark a little bit more on this bottom part. So let me see. Let me create more this landmark. That's okay. And we have this little detail here. The other part, let me move to skin shading. Let me select skin tone. So how you can see we lost the contrast. So let me go to rendering, render and active the render properties, the wax preview. And when I add, for example, 15 of strength, we're gonna lost a little bit more the contrast. So now what I'm gonna try to do is work a little bit in the pores. Let me use the spray, and I can be this alpha. No, it's not necessary to be this alpha. It can be this one. Let me work with layers. New layer. And let me select alpha 1. Or let me check more hard. This one here can be. So we're gonna try to make this transition. Let me go to spray and flow the scale. Let me reduce to have a better, I think it's the placement, more space between them. Yeah. And here focal shift, I'm gonna set negative 30, can be 5, no. Negative 1? No. Well, gonna work with that. And here I'm gonna try to bring this feeling. So remember, I am using the layers because I can have a better control to these things. So I can pass, and of course I could use noise here too. No problem. So I can bring until here more or less. Let me create other layer, and I can make a mask more or less here, and go to surface, noise. Let me see here. Change this option here, and let me edit it and increase a little bit the scale. Let me check. Too much. Let me increase the strength just to check how it is working. So in this final part where you're gonna refine, add pores and all these stuffs, you need play with that. For example, let me put negative here, or let me use the noise plug. No, that's enough. This guy here. You need make test and play with that. So don't let me reset. Oh wait, don't try to make it very fast. Okay, guys. So let me press OK. Apply to mesh. Let me see. I can use standard brush, or let me use the inflate maybe. let me create let me make a blur a little bit to the mask. Let me invert it, and I can press Ctrl W. Or not, let me keep this way. And here I can use the inflate, but let me press Ctrl Z, I need to make this inflate. Let me see here, yeah. And another layer, so let me create this layer to have the different control. Here the noise it's too strong, so let me use the inflate brush. How you can see, and that's okay. Now I can reduce the noise here. This guy here it's too strong too. Let me set 0.5, and here same thing, 0.5. That's okay. How you can see the contrast, it's not perfectly, but that's okay. And if we want, we could paint it and create a new layer, color, fill object. Well, come on. Subtool, layer. Of course, I need go to standard and active the RGB, color, fill object. Why is not working? So let me delete this layer and apply the background. Now it works, how I said you. And we could, for example, paint here red lips and all these stuffs, but I will not to do that. For me it's enough this part. Let me switch to gray. Basic material, no. Let me keep skin shading, and let me set a different color here, random color, more skin. If you want, you can use this skin matcap for it. A matcap that comes with ZBrush when you install it. So how you can see. And other thing that we can do if we want, it's go to mask. Let me see here. Masking, and here mask by cavity profile. You can click mask by cavity and smooth it a little bit, and we can see, we can paint it if we want. For example, we can smooth it or paint by these cavities, but for me it's not necessary. So let me return. Let me see here. No, let me go to matcap skin, can be 04. I like of this 05. It's too red. The 06 here. And let me append cube to make the cut. And remember, guys, this is a sketch. It's to practice and not to get amazing results from it. But I like it, of this concept. So let me test it. This shape. Maybe could be a cylinder. Let me append a cylinder. Let me save it first. Yeah. And let me scale this cylinder. And I would like to have this shape here. Let me see. Yeah. Something like that. Let me activate the rendering rendering Boolean to have this shape. Let me press Ctrl D, Ctrl D to have a better resolution. Now it's better, how you can see. And I can append a cube. Let me see, this cube can be, I can make it curved. Let me turn off spotlight projection, dynamic. Let me check it on this way. Here, more curved. This part. So can be here. Let me check and test. And sorry guys, I need close this part here and have this visual. Let me rotate it a little bit and maybe make something like that. Yes, will be better. So let me turn off it and make on this way. That's good. Let me see, move back, yes. And test. It's better, in my opinion, of course. Let me duplicate that and rotate 180 degree and activate. That's cool. Duplicate that, or I can use a cube here again. So let me see here. Mirror and out, and it's enough for me. Maybe this guy here. Move back a little bit, move up a little bit. Yes, for me that's okay, it's very cool and beauty. This intern part we can add other mesh and or try to simulate it. We can append a cylinder here and try to simulate that, guys, as a thief. For example, here, Ctrl D. Let me see and remove this part. Let me see here, that's okay. More or less here, deal hidden. To deal hidden, I need to delete the lower, so deal hidden now. And I can make a more dark color here. Let me see, but something like that, yeah, but dark color, it's a little strange. Let me try to apply a Medicap skin shading and mRGB color fill object, because mRGB it's to apply the material, and here maybe will be better. So that's okay. Here seems that we have some problems. Let me go to display properties. Select this guy. Yeah. Well, let me try. I'm gonna just keep only this guy activated, hold shift. Or better saying, let me turn off the thief and apply it, the Boolean. The Boolean make Boolean mesh. Let me see. To remove this other polygon. So let me see, yeah, now it's better. And I can append the thief here. So let me go to append the thief. Is it? Yeah. Working well. And let me see here, can be on this angle more or less. light, that's okay. This point, that's good. Rendering, BPR shadow 35, the angle to get smoothed shadows, raise 150 to have a better resolution, and the F strength 0.75, and I can take a rendering. So let me wait. And basically is it, guys. How you can see, it's a little exaggerated. These landmarks of the border of the mouth, how you can see it's very marked, but that's okay. I know that. Maybe transition could be better, like the inferior lips. Here it's too marked. I can smooth it maybe if I want. So just to break a little bit, I can smooth a little bit this part here and here too. This transition. Let me see. And I can cut a little bit to create a better landmark here. Just to present a little bit better. So here I can select alpha 0. Let me go to brush and reset current brush, and to create this nuance, this variation here, this transition. I can use the inflate brush to this connection here. It's better. So let me see. Let me check here, hold Alt, and this part, I don't know, it's a little too flat, so let me make different. Always working with reference, so you can use reference if you want, but it's too strong for me. So this part, it's better. So let me see here. Yeah. Let me see this part. Yes, this line here, I don't want it. Let me use the clay, only the clay to close this gap. This cavity. So let me use the clay. Let me test and try to make it more, to fill it. Let me see, that's okay. Now I can smooth and make cuts here. Use them standard to make these landmarks. Make a better transition. So it's better, in my opinion, it's better. It's a little strong, but no problem. So let me see this middle part too. It's better. Yeah. So let me see here these little details. Let me check. I don't know this part here, if it's good or not. Yeah, that's cool for me, it's better. Let him use the noise again. Spray and alpha 01. And I can try to add here a little bit more. So that's cool. We can see the difference between them. So here we have more marked this part. No problem. If I want, I can mark again here. Oops, 0 times standard. And we'll make this landmark, but it's different now. I don't know, I think that it's not so good for me. Let me move. I like of this contrast here, but let me go to freehand and try to mark here. Let me see. Try to break it a little bit. I don't know, I like this line. So yeah, this point here, it's very symmetrical. Let me check here. This part of the lip. No, I like it of this one. And let me just remove here this part. Let me cut it. Little bit more. So that's okay. Create these little designs. Here too we can create these scratches here too. Good. Little more strong just to mark, of course. And play a little bit, breaking some parts. Of course we could spend a lot of hours here making stuffs, details, and all these things, but this is not the objective. To deform a little bit sport. Of course, take care to not make too strong and make sense. Let me see. Yeah, but how you can see we have this different visual and too beautiful. Let me take a rendering. Let me see. And is it, guys? Here we have our rendering, this sketch of the month, beautiful month, and we can reply it when we're gonna sculpt a complete head. Of course, the workflow when we are sculpting a complete head, it's a little different because we're gonna follow a concept and exactly concept and make this translation. And the lips, it depends of the ethnic. For example, I am black, so my lips are more inflated, more big. It depends. A white woman, white man, it's a little different. And of course, it depends of the concept. So we're gonna always follow the concept. Here, the mouth, the elements of the face, when we are sculpting, it's more to, you can be more freedom to make the things. Because our focus here, it's on the shapes. So for example, here, remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 volumes, and is it. The donut here. So we have the muscles connecting here. So we have this node here, and basically is it. So I hope you have enjoyed it. Any question, please comment here on the comment. Please make your suggestion. Any question that you have will be a pleasure reply you, and please enjoy the video, make suggestion to the next tutorial, and I hope you have enjoyed this short series of the elements of the face. It's really helpful for who want to become a 3D caricature artist, because we need to understand the the human anatomy. And is it. See you in the next tutorial. All the best.